Summer, horror, and retro vibes. Very disturbing movie. Is just... I literally jumped out of my skin. Imagine finally buying your dream house only to discover that it's pretty... Alright, now this is something fairly new here. After all the vampire deep dives, I thought it's time for a tiny post from an intensive vampire research to explore other horror gems on the horizon. Since we've set the stakes at summer horror, I've got movies that are absolute perfection for the season. You'll get summer, horror, and retro vibes, the mix that I love. If that combo sounds like your gem, stick around, you'll love what I've got in store for you. Grab a snack, get comfy, and let me do the talking. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bouquet, and welcome to my horror corner, Bouquetified. Okay, quick disclaimer. These aren't your run-of-the-mill comedic relief horror movies. Each one features heavy gore, lots of blood, and psychological elements. We're definitely venturing into the darker side of horror for this video, so consider yourself warmly warned. Okay, I'm giving you 5 movies for your week of horror viewing that are filmed after 2000 but taking place before 2000s, to spice up your summer days with some hot summer horror. You can watch them through Monday to Friday, midweek to weekend, or marathon them in one sitting. I don't mind, though I wouldn't recommend that last option. And I've organized them from least to most terrifying, so you can ease your way into the horror or save the scariest ones for last. I'll rate each film on its horror intensity from 1 skull to 5 skulls, 1 being mildly unsettling and 5 being I my pants kind of scary. Okay, alright, let's jump right into the good stuff now. The first movie on my list is X, the 2022 horror film directed by Ty West. The movie sets in 1979. It follows a bunch of young filmmakers who head out to Texas countryside to shoot an adult film at this old farmhouse. The elderly couple who own the place have no clue what these kids are up to. When night rolls around, things get weird and violent. The filmmakers soon figure out their hosts are hiding some pretty twisted secrets. The film masterfully blends slasher horror with themes of aging, sexuality, and repression. By the end of the movie, you might have some questions. I believe watching the prequel Pearl and the sequel Maxine will help clarify the story. Since I haven't watched them yet, I won't discuss them here. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite surprised to see Jenna Ortega in this type of role. It's quite different from her other works. You'll see what I mean. The film includes several disturbing scenes, particularly when one of the elderly owners become uncomfortably intimate with crew members. There is also a considerable amount of nudity throughout. It's nothing you can't handle though. The movie creates powerful parallels between youthful sexual liberation, horror of aging, and loneliness. With Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega in the cast, the movie nails that gritty 70s look and keeps you on the edge of your seat as the tension slowly builds. And they save the killer line for the end, and it kinda stuck with me. It goes like that: I will not accept a life I do not deserve. Nice. Overall, I give X 2 skulls based on its horror level. It's a good starting point for this list, but prepare yourself for some gore and scenes that may disturb you both visually and psychologically. The second movie on my list is It. The 2017 film based on Stephen King's novel was directed by Andy Muschietti. Anyway, now hold on, let me tell you what I have in mind before you roll your eyes, okay? Yes, it's a big franchise, and yes, it isn't an obscure movie that you've never heard of, but listen, I'm not necessarily asking you to watch the movie, though in my opinion, it's an amazing horror film with strong summer vibes that would be just perfect for a seasonal watch. I strongly advise you to both read and watch it. Okay, this is hands down one of my favorite movies and books. And last summer I bought the novel and I promised myself I'd finish it before the end of the summer. I'm not a fast reader, okay? And the book is an absolute brick. You can see it. But I still devoured it. If you ask me today which version I prefer, the movie or the book, I would 100% choose the book. Alright, with that being said, if you're unfamiliar with the story of It, it's set in a small town of Derry, Maine, where a group of misfit kids known as the Losers Club band together to confront a terrifying, shape-shifting entity that emerges every 27 years to prey on children. This evil force typically appears as a creepy clown called Pennywise, but what makes it truly horrifying is its ability to transform into each child's worst fear. As the kids investigate the mysterious disappearances of local children, they realize they must fear their deepest fears and confront Pennywise before it claims more victims. Let me tell you something. The way Stephen King writes about friendship is just perfection. Amazing. Every time I picked up the book, I felt like I was one of the group members. And I am sure so many people had that experience as well. You can also see how many modern horror or even fantasy movies have borrowed ideas from this novel. The film adaptation is split into 2 movies, by the way. The first part takes place during childhood, while the second movie, which was released in 2019, follows the characters as adults. In the book, it's one giant cohesive story, and there will be a prequel to the original story. I believe it will be extremely rewarding, especially for those who read the book, as they know so much about the characters' background. Trust me, if you're into horror, get the book and read it. Watch the movies, all before the prequel Welcome to Derry releases in October, while you still have time. And you can thank me later. It's a long movie, and rightfully so, given the fact that the book is massive. And with that being said, you can probably guess there will be an in-depth analysis review video for it in the coming weeks. Fingers crossed if I can get my together. And by the way, I've also seen the original TV series from 1990. If you're interested, definitely give that a try as well. Not to compare the productions or criticize one over another, but to gain a deeper understanding of the story and see how different directors and actors have interpreted the characters. I always find different versions of things very interesting to explore. The story expertly explores friendship, family dynamics, childhood trauma, buried fears, loss, and personal growth. My favorite line from the movie is, of course, "Your hair is winter fire, January embers, my heart burns there too." It's a beautiful poem that resembles a haiku, and I absolutely love it. So based solely on horror level, I give it 3 skulls. If I were rating based on my favorite movies, I'd give it a full 5 skulls. But we're focusing strictly on horror elements here, and the film showcases many different types of terror as we witness each character's unique fears, and 1 or 2 might easily be one of your personal phobias as well. Trust me, you won't regret experiencing it in either format. Alright, the third movie on my list is The Devil's Candy, a 2015 horror film directed by Sean Byrne. A struggling metalhead artist named Jesse Hellman packs up with his wife and kid and moves to a rural Texas farmhouse. Little do they know, the place has some serious baggage. The previous owners died under some sketchy circumstances, all tied to their seriously disturbed, messed up son, Ray, who is still lurking around the neighborhood. Imagine finally buying your dream house only to discover that it's pretty up. I meant haunted. What a bad luck. As this whole demonic situation gets worse, Jesse's gotta step up and protect his daughter from both the supernatural evil and the very real psycho threat. In the movie, the devil isn't just a literal figure, it symbolizes temptation, madness, and fear of losing control. The main character essentially becomes a channel between the evil force and the physical world, depicting this connection through his art. And I have to say, the art is, as one character describes it, wonderfully disturbing. Those are exactly the right words for it. And that one line from the movie, "Nothing of true worth comes without sacrifice." That one hits different once you get what sacrifice really means in this movie. Despite its creepy and gory elements, this film manages to be genuinely artistic through its skillful transitions and visual elements. Don't kill me for saying that, okay? You'll see what I mean when you watch it. Though The Devil's Candy isn't set in 70s or 80s, it has strong retro vibes. You'll notice this even from just watching the trailer. Except for a couple of scenes where you see a cell phone or a laptop, you wouldn't think it takes place in modern times. The metal-heavy soundtrack fits perfectly. Some Marilyn Manson would have complemented it well too. I love that the protagonist is an artist. I'm passionate about drawing and painting myself too, though I've never ventured into darker subject matter. Maybe I should. I think from this point on, the list takes a darker turn, as this movie explores truly dark themes, hence the name. Anyway, I give The Devil's Candy 3 skulls again. It has a much darker tone than it, but in my opinion, the horror level remains comparable. If you can handle it, you can definitely handle this one too. The fourth movie on my list is The Black Phone. The Black Phone is a relatively recent movie from 2021, directed by Scott Derrickson. It's apparently based on a short story written by Joe Hill, which I haven't read yet, but definitely plan to. It's set in 1970s. The film follows Finney, a shy 13-year-old boy who is abducted by a masked serial killer known as the Grabber and imprisoned in a soundproof basement. In this basement, there is a disconnected black phone that inexplicably starts to ring. Finney discovers that the voices on the line belong to some people, and they are all determined to help him escape. Meanwhile, his younger sister Gwen experiences psychic dreams, and she desperately works with the police to find him before it's too late. The movie contains several symbolic elements, and I love analyzing the hidden meanings behind objects in horror movies, especially in horror movies. The phone, for example. I want to talk so much about it, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to spoil it. The movie explores powerful themes: sibling love, confronting fear, overcoming powerlessness, and taking control of one's destiny. Also, the young actor playing Finney, Mason Thames, delivers an exceptional performance. I fell in love with his portrayal as we journey with Finney, watching him transform from a shy boy to a brave teenager finding his confidence. Throughout the film, we experience both hopeful and hopeless moments, all depicted perfectly. At times, it feels almost like a one-man show, a theatrical performance centered on this single boy. The Black Phone is, in my opinion, a slow burn horror thriller that maintains its mystery as the grabber is always wearing a mask. It makes you hold your breath at times with effective jump scares. I yelled at him. I yelled at the boy like, "Run for your life!" Also, certain moments in the movie gave me video game vibes. I want to know if I'm the only one who felt this way. And my line from the movie is, "It's all you from here on out." Wow, it's such a powerful moment. Hit me right in the gut. Beautiful movie. It's definitely a must watch. My husband isn't a horror fan, but if he ever gives me a chance to show him one from this list, aside from It, which is a classic, it would definitely be The Black Phone. Like, definitely. I give it 4 skulls for making me experience not just the horror, but the full range of emotions that come with terror. I truly felt this movie. I felt every moment of it. And trust me, when you watch it, you're going to feel it too. And I only recently watched this movie for the first time. Yeah, I was quite late to the party. And the 5th movie on my list is It Follows. This movie genuinely terrified me. The minimal soundtrack, relying mostly on ambient noise, creates an atmosphere that really gets under my skin. Honestly, I've mentioned this before, but I can't stress enough how powerful silence can be. When used at the right moment, silence builds anticipation, and in a horror movie like this, anticipation is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You'll notice that. Anyway, It Follows is a 2014 horror film directed by David Robert Mitchell. After a sexual encounter, 19-year-old Jay becomes a target of a mysterious supernatural entity that follows her everywhere she goes, relentlessly pursuing her day and night. This terrifying presence can take on the appearance of anyone. Although it walks slowly with an unnerving steady pace, it never gives up its pursuit and never rests. What makes this horror even more isolating is that Jay is the only person who can see the entity. To everyone else, it remains invisible. You're screaming your head off because something horrific is coming your way, while the people around you are just like, "The f*** is wrong with you?" Lovely, isn't it? And it's not done yet. This nightmarish curse is transmitted through sexual contact, a clear homage to the classic equals death trope in horror. So basically, you need to find someone you're not attached to and hook up with them, then hope they won't do anything stupid, because if they bite the dust, it comes back down the line and heads right back to you. You're never really in the clear. Your best shot is to just be straight up with the person you slept with about the whole situation, and fingers crossed, hope they don't kick the bucket. Yay! So Jay and her gang try to figure out what this entity is and how to shake it off without completely losing their minds in the process. This is an eerie and very disturbing movie. Perfect if you really want to be scared. Watch it alone in a dark environment and I guarantee you'll be terrified. I literally jumped out of my skin as I spotted a pair of glowing eyes watching me from across the dark room while watching the movie. Turned out that it was my cat, but still. Also, the movie never clearly tells you when it takes place. Certain elements suggest it could be modern times, but just like The Devil's Candy, it was filmed with retro vibes that make it hard to place. There's also that strange clam-shaped e-reader that seems completely out of place. It boggled my mind and I googled it. It turns out that I wasn't the only one confused. So I was happy to hear that. And the line from the movie that I really liked was, "When there is no more memory of the past and no more hope for the future, men cannot endure." It's a quote from Dostoevsky novel. I don't know which one it is yet. It was read by one of the girls from the movie. She was reading it from this clam-shaped e-reader that I was talking about. Anyway, I gave this movie 4.5 skulls as I was nearly my pants. So there you have it, my list of 5 retro horror films perfect for summer viewing. What do you think of these picks? If you've already seen them, how would you rate each one on the horror scale? Which one did you find the scariest? You can let me know all in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Coming up next, I'll be exploring less eerie but still retro horror movies with 70s and 80s vibes. I think somewhere between The Lost Boys and The Stranger Things. I'll try to narrow them down to another list of 5, but we'll see how that goes. I'm dropping my socials down below in case you want to connect on other platforms. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye! This was a struggling metalhead artist named Jesse Hellman. After drinking my water for a couple of... Water is in my system. Now, this is gonna be a long one. It's gonna take so much time. What was that?